Hello guys, welcome to Mignolaverse.com, and I'm Dan LaPlante. I'm here with my first little vlog thing that I'm going to start doing, because I'm working on a much bigger video right now, but I want to take a little time and do something really quick and easy, just so I could kind of get something out this weekend. Also, because I wanted to have an excuse basically to catch up on my Lobster Johnson, and mainly the Crimson Lotus stuff, because Crimson Lotus, this book, has been coming out, well, has come out once. And when you guys are watching this, it will have just come out. And make sure you stay till the end of this video, because I will be cutting to when I actually have Crimson Lotus #2, and I'll do like a little mini on-the-spot review thing. Not really a review, just kind of like a discussion. And I'm just going to discuss all the Crimson Lotus appearances, which surprisingly there aren't many of. I honestly thought there was a lot more. And it's just been a while since I've read Lobster Johnson. I read everything, excuse me, where I'm a high quality entertainer. It's just been a while since I've read Lobster Johnson. I read everything up till this trade. I have this trade, and I just hadn't read this trade. That was basically it. I'd read everything from volumes 1 through 5, but not volume 6 for some reason. It's no reason in particular, I just never got to it. And I still actually haven't. I've only read Mangekyo?
Mangekyo.
I'm sorry if I just butchered that. But yeah, this gives me a good excuse to catch up on my Lobster Johnson. I might actually start doing a vlog series where I actually talk about main Lobster Johnson. But for now, we're just talking about the Crimson Lotus, who actually her first appearance was in BPRD The Dead, if I remember correctly. Shoutouts to Hellboy Wiki. Hellboy Wiki, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. I didn't realize that was the first appearance. I thought it was Scent of a Lotus, the Lobster Johnson 3-issue story. I believe it's 3 issues. And then they referenced it in The Dead, and then they went back and did another one. But it actually was not the case. And they didn't even really show her much in that BPRD story. But that was all John Arcudi anyways. He did both of these, wrote both of them, so it makes sense. So yeah, I guess that was the order it came out in, so that's pretty weird. We'll start with Ascent of the Lotus, which is Sebastian Fiumara art, which is really cool. I don't know if he does, I don't remember if he did a ton of, maybe volume 2, maybe he did some work, I don't really remember. I haven't read volume 2 in a little bit. But, yeah, Ascent of the Lotus, I actually remembered this being my favorite arc out of all of the Lobster Johnson I had read up to that point, and I can see why it really holds up. I love reading this story again, because there's so much I just forgot that is cool to see again. Just from the coloring, which is normally awesome. In fact, Lobster Johnson, I think, has my favorite color scheme in all of the Hellboy books. Just like the cool blue and oranges. But, you know, I can kind of show the artwork here a little bit. It's a little hard to show with the lighting. This story's basically about the An Liang in the Lobster kind of getting involved with them, but it turns out the An Liang isn't really the bad guys, but I don't know, there's some friction, there's a lot of racial tensions going on, but then he gets introduced to the Crimson Lotus, who is a Japanese spy who is trying to interfere with the An Liang, who is a Chinese group, because there's a war going on overseas. Not a war, just that one war that, whatever, I'm sure you haven't heard of it. I'm wonderful at this. And it's great to see all these characters again, because I completely forgot about most of this. It's been a long time. Like, I read this, like, forever ago. But on the topic of the Crimson Lotus, it's pretty weird going from reading this, which I just read, like, a week and a half ago, I guess, or whenever it came out, I don't know, where she's just like this little girl, to reading this, where, especially in this book, she's very quiet. Like, I'll start on this a little bit right now. She hardly even speaks in this. In fact, the whole time she is kind of drawn like very stoic and dead-faced. Like, she doesn't really emote at all, especially seeing her dead father. So going from that to like this, where, let's see, let me pull up a good, where she's like doing all this absolutely crazy stuff. Like, she has that little sneer. She comes in like pretending to be a grandma with a little baby. She's like, "Hello there, darling. We shall be there soon." And the monkey's going like, "Hey." It's like going from that, like the most toned down, depressing thing ever, to like the Crimson Lotus going like, "Hello there, babies," and like she has like a bunch of I guess chimpanzees as minions, which the chimpanzees are my favorite thing. They're just adorable. I guess they are chimpanzees, I believe. I don't know. I'm not a zoologist. They're really murderous. They have little guns, which is hysterical. She actually doesn't even do a whole lot of witch stuff in this, aside from light a building on fire, but that's something I feel like a lot of people are capable of doing. She just commands all these monkeys and kills people. It's great. We're introduced to a bunch of other characters too. Shoot, what's his name? I'm sorry. The big heavy guy. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but his role basically is to get hurt a lot. Especially in this story, he gets massacred and still lives. And then in this story, he gets massacred and still lives. And that's... I feel bad for him because, I don't know, he seems like a pretty cool guy. Like, I can't get around that. He just seems nice. And I feel bad for him. I don't know. I don't like seeing him get massacred like that. The lobster likes him. I like him. We all like him. And that's really it. Like, she shows up really for like, let's count the pages here. Well, there's that one page, then 2, 3, I'll count that, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then like a little tiny picture of her right here for 8. Yeah, 8 pages. And then we get this story, which is Mangekyo. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And we start this issue with a different spy. I don't know what his name is, but he's getting ready to get killed with the death penalty. And all the chimpanzees come and start trying to break him out. It's adorable. They have TNT. Isn't it so cute? Aw, little devils. And then we get, what's his name? I'm sorry. I haven't looked up his name. I'm doing this on the spot. There's a reason that I'm calling this really easy content. And then we get the Crimson Lotus, and she gets to do a lot more in this issue, which is surprising because it's a one-off, as opposed to the other one. But in this one, she actually does a lot of cool, like, mind-bendy stuff. I don't know. It's basically like a lot of hallucinogenic stuff. Whether or not it's actually or whether or not it's actually a hallucination or a, like a, I don't know, real thing. It's a hallucination. I don't know. Then we get this thing where he gets beat up again, but the lobster has to beat him up. The poor guy. I like him. He seems like a cool dude. I don't know. But of course he doesn't die, which is good, I guess. I don't know. And then a bunch of monkeys die. Really, there hasn't been a ton going on in these, honestly. Like, she just kind of shows up, does villain stuff, and then leaves. But, like, that's why I'm so happy. I was stoked that we were getting this, by the way. I should have said that before. I was mad happy that we were getting a Crimson Lotus thing. Mad happy. I'm a millennial, yo. But... like, I just want to see more, and now that I realize how little we have of her, like, this is kind of cool. So, and this issue is great. It's also, surprisingly, I wasn't expecting to see Rasputin in this. Rasputin. I don't know if I just emphasized that weirdly, but whatever, I don't care, I'm cool. And they actually have been upping his powers recently. Usually he's just kind of like, woo, a snake came out of my hand. I don't know, does a snake ever come out of his hand? Like, but now he can, like, just point at somebody and they'll just, like, implode and turn into just pure blood. It's gross. Which is kind of cool. Or bad. I don't know. It's cool. And then the Crimson Lotus gets to watch her mother massacred by him. Rasputin trash compacts him into a block. I don't know how to describe that otherwise. It's exactly what happens. And again, like, we don't really get to see much of her, actually. She's only in the first few pages. So, like, total, she has, like, 15 pages under her belt, if we're excluding, like, the BPRD stuff where they just kind of talk about her. Because she's not really in that. There's, like, maybe a picture of her. But, like, something around, like, 15 pages, I guess, of her. Not even a full issue's worth. So, yeah, I'm super happy we have this. It's actually more like a noir now that I'm looking at it. Or not now that I'm looking at it, I kind of recognized this before. Actually, I think this might be her right here, but I couldn't really tell. Yeah, I've just been loving this book. I mean, it's obviously this is just set up for the book. We haven't even gotten through like the whole first act yet, but like, it's great. I love Mindy Lee's art in this too. It's really cool. Actually, it's very like German expressionist-y, is what I'm getting from it. Like, look at that. That's just straight up Nosferatu stuff right there. Or Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari much? I don't know why that sounded so funny to me. It was funny. I don't care. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, I'm really loving this. Let's cut over to me on Wednesday when this came out. Woo! Oh man! All right, I'm back. I apologize. I'm sick. So we got Crimson Lotus number 2 of 5. It's actually Saturday right now because on Wednesday when I got home to do the last part of the video, the Hellboy trailer came out. So I was like, well, that's more important. So I did that, and then I had stuff to do afterwards already. So I was like, alright, well, I'll just push it off to Thursday, like I was expecting, and that was a beep, I'm sorry. And on Thursday, I got home, and I had stuff to do. Unexpected stuff to do. I thought I'd have more time, but Christmas is a real ding-dong, you know what I mean? You just get home, and then you're like, oh, Christmas got in the way? Great. But we're uploading it today, so it's cool. I just read this, finally. I actually figured out, so who I thought was the main character, Agent Baloo, that's this guy right here. I was actually pretty shocked at the end of this. Spoilers, by the way. Gets killed off immediately. And that girl who was like, oh, maybe she's the Crimson Lotus? I don't know. Turns out to be a different agent. She doesn't say her name, I believe. She still doesn't have a name. That might be a reveal or something. And then there's this guy who I forget his name. They meet on a train to discuss secret stuff to get away. But then Baloo goes home and gets his head eaten. Well, he doesn't go home. He goes to like a hotel, gets his head eaten. That's how you know your hotel stinks and should get bad Yelp reviews. But dude. And finally, we actually get the Crimson Lotus. In the beginning, we got to see her capturing her monkeys, but we actually get to see her right here. My mouth, the comic book is in the way of my mouth. I apologize. She does some Crimson Lotus stuff. It's like, I'm gonna find out what you did, and takes out his eyeball and puts it in the fire and gets to see. So yeah, this is a cool issue. Really stoked to see where this is going. That was quite twisty, actually. I was not expecting it to get so plot twist heavy in the very beginning of the book. His characters, it kind of got Game of Thrones-y. Characters you thought were main characters just die. You know, I love the cover. And so, basically, I feel like issue 3 will be able to start actually getting more discussion out of this, because we're still kind of at the rising action of the book, but in like a 2 weeks or a month, I don't know how often this is coming out, I think a month, we'll be able to see kind of the midpoint of the book. But, yeah, I really like it, and thanks for sticking around. I edited the first half of the video already. That was quite weird. So if you have some suggestions for this video type, what you want me to do next, I'm probably going to start doing these for like new releases. Maybe less so like going back and discussing stuff. We'll see. I don't know, whatever I feel like doing. It was quite a weird
video already. So, and thank you for ignoring my sickness. Merry Christmas and I should say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, because you guys celebrate all sorts of stuff. I don't want to like just assume you celebrate Christmas. Also, remember to get your Mantic Christmas Hellboy figures, because they go out on like the 31st or something. I'm getting mine right now, like literally right after I click stop recording on this. So get those. I hope you haven't died because of Christmas. I'm gonna go take it easy because I feel flarting terrible. No more swearing. Kevin instructed me not to swear because that's bad. Cool. Bye.